Hey guys, this is Nathaniel. This is Just the Average Student. So before the video starts, remember to like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff. And enjoy. If you do like it and the content is useful to you, please do comment, please do share. In this video, I really wanted to redo it, but there were so many good points that I made within the video, not to toot my own horn, but so many good discussion points within the video that I decided to keep the original and just edit it down. Anything that I do miss saying, I'm going to write over it. So I'll see you in the video. Coolio. So guys, I actually had another video that I had up and I deleted it, right? I have no idea what I was talking about, which is probably not a good start. So we're going to flip it to this one. So this is about assessment days, guys. Now, you might be trying to go on your assessment day. I'm going to assume that you know what an assessment day is, right? If you do not know what an assessment day is, for those who do not know, an assessment day is when... Yeah, my phone was ringing. Assessment day is when you have a group of people, you have a set task on the day. You have set tasks on the day that you have to complete, and you have a group of assessors that will be assessing you, assessing the way that you have performed in said tasks. This is usually followed up by an interview right at the end, okay? Hopefully everyone knew that. If you didn't know that, then you learned something new today, all right? And that's all you. So, assessment days. What do I think of them? Now, I'm going to follow this up with a second video on stuff that I found myself that helped me be successful within assessment days, okay? But just for now, it's going to be what I think of assessment days. And what do I think of assessment days? To be honest, guys, I think it's a waste of time. To be honest with you, I think it's a genuine waste of time. Genuinely, I think it's a waste of time. In a certain respect, right? Assessment days, some of them can be horrible. There's about 30 to 50 people in a room, maybe 60 people. This is from a sales perspective as well, so there's a lot of people in a room at one time. The best ones that I've gone to have been like really small kind of focus groups that haven't consisted of more than 9 people. So yeah, the assessment days can be really horrible, and essentially a lot of group tasking and all that stuff, it kind of comes down to who can be the loudest, essentially. Now, you might have someone who's a gem, but they might not be seen, and the reason why they might not be seen is simple, because they just might not be the person who's the most vocal, who's the loudest, the person who is the most boisterous. But it doesn't mean that they're not a good worker. It doesn't mean that they're not a good person. It doesn't mean that they're not driven, and it doesn't mean that they aren't really good at what they're saying that they are good at. It just means that they are not the person within a group of, let's say, 50 people to stand up and feel like, really, really confident to say, hey guys, I can do this and that and the other. Now, especially when you have the group task, this is when a lot of people who have that kind of domineering, I don't want to say dominant, I want to say domineering, because most time it is domineering. They have that domineering personality where they kind of cow people down. They kind of back people down. They push people down in order to elevate themselves. This is the reason why it can be a bit nasty, because it's the person who's talking. If they're continuously going, and an assessor doesn't kind of tell them to, chill out. If the person doesn't say, hey, bro, chill out, man. This can go to a stage of when someone else is talking, it just becomes like a really huge shout off, right? Anyone who actually gets involved in, you'll hear assessors on the day as well saying, it's nearly gotten to blows and stuff, and they'll be joking about it. But to be honest with you, I've never seen it, but I can see why it would, because sometimes it can just be like you see 2 people just shouting at each other or shouting or over each other. And this can be bad. Now, assessment days. So those are my two negatives, I would say, for assessment days. I would say just due to the fact that it's not an accurate way of actually judging an individual. Let's say, for example, you've done something really good on the day. The assessor might not have seen it. The people who are assessing you might not have seen you do that one thing that was key. and that really showed off your talents. They might have been walking across the room somewhere. So how did they see it? They didn't see it. And right at the end of the day, you get sent home. You get my point here, right? Now, that's the reason why I think assessment days are bad. I genuinely think they're bad. I think the cons outweigh the pros. Give me 2 seconds, because somebody hitting me up on my line. Okay. Where was I? So, essentially, those are the reasons why I feel that assessment days are bad. Okay, because the individual gets really looked over. The only individual that gets the notice is the individual that's being boisterous, is the individual that's being loud. If that sounds like you, you're a dick. No, I'm playing. If that sounds like you, that means that you are suited to go to an assessment day and do well, like really well, and you will be, you're suited for that situation. You're suited for that situation, and by all means, go to every single assessment day, because it will not be a waste of your time. If this does not sound like you, then do not go to an assessment day, because you might want to be opting for the chances of going to companies specifically. All right, you want to avoid assessment days. You want one-on-one interviews, but avoid assessment days where you have a feeling there's going to be a huge abundance of people. This will most likely be with recruiters. Avoid this. Go to companies specifically. Their groups will be a lot smaller. We're talking about between 6 and 10, and they're going to be a lot lighter. They're going to be a lot lighthearted from what I've actually, from what I've experienced. Okay. Now, what's good about assessment days? There's a lot good about assessment days. Do you know what? There are a lot of good things that I can actually say about assessment days. Notice I sat forward because I'm getting incredibly gassed. If you're not from London, then gassed means getting excited. So, why I believe assessment days are actually really good are because it builds confidence. There's nothing like an assessment day to build confidence. The fact that you got knocked down before, believe me, right? I was not good at assessment days at all. I don't think I failed one. I think I failed 2. I don't think I failed one after the second time when, I went back, reevaluated, and came back to actually applying. I don't think I failed one assessment day. And we'll get to that in the other video. But it will build confidence. Confidence in talking to people, putting your point across, and it will build confidence in maybe, you still might not be that person who's going to be shouting and such, but you might be able to take control of a situation a lot better, playing to your strengths than you would, let's say, if you did not go to an assessment day and assess that problem for yourself, or find out that you had that problem, that you get overshadowed and kind of like, shouted over if you hadn't gone to an assessment day. I think the next point would be, in terms of assessment days, the good thing about it is it will open you up. The good thing about an assessment day is that it opens you up to a lot of different scenarios. So let's say, for example, I went to an assessment day and they put me through maybe a group assignment, and they wanted certain skills, they wanted certain stuff, and I went through it there. It's given me the practice, the experience, the practice that I will need to go to maybe a one-on-one interview and refine those little areas. Okay. The next reason why I would say an assessment day is good is because you get to see a lot of people. Okay. Now, imagine you are trying to break into a new field. You don't know what you're doing. You've just graduated. You're like, all right, cool. I want to go into, let's say you're trying to get into sales. Okay. And you don't know what's happening with sales. You don't know how people are conducting themselves. You don't know how people are answering questions. An assessment day, going through 50 people's answers and listening to 50 people's answers, gives you a great insight of what employers are looking for and what will actually go well or tank. That right there, you cannot buy that experience. You have to experience that experience. That is incredibly vital to your progression. Okay, you can't, again, that right there, go, if you've never been to an assessment day before, you think they're really bad, go just for that. just to hear what other people are saying, how other people present themselves, and how other people ask questions, and how they answer questions. All right, go for those specific reasons. I think that. Do you know what? On a genuine, I think that is it for the assessment for in terms of pros on assessment days. Just FYIs, assessment days tend to be very long. They're gonna be ranging from anywhere between 2 to 5 hours. I was in one for like 6 hours, like the very first one I went, which was Pareto Law. I've got the video on. Go and check it out. And I think the one after that was in 2 hours. The most recent ones I've been to, I think none have been less than 2 hours. Okay, and guys, they're long. You're not gonna get food. They will not feed you. So please do not think that you're gonna go there and you're gonna get lunch as well. That is not gonna happen. In most cases. At best, they're gonna have like a snack, like a light snack. It's gonna be something like tea and biscuits or tea and crisps or something like that. If you're watching this and you're from America, crisps are chips. So go figure, right? That is about it for assessment days. So, in conclusion, I guess let's actually just let's put a bow on this puppy. Assessment days, in general, in my opinion, are bad. Right? That's it. In my opinion, they're bad. I wouldn't go to one, unless it's for an actual company, or unless I believe, like right now, I believe that I can get through on them, so I would go. But I genuinely think that they're a bad idea. They do not assess the person. They just assess what the person is showing at the time that you're looking at them. That there's 50 people in the room. When do you show? You get a lot of pandering. Then you get a lot of people seeing the assessor coming over and showing off. If that doesn't sound like you, then the assessment days aren't for you. It wasn't for me, so I opted for a different route, which actually helped me build the confidence to go back and to help me build the skills. I wouldn't even say confidence. I was quite confident anyway, but helped me build the skill to go back into assessment days. So in my opinion, bad. Now, objectively, they are good for the reasons why I said they are good. You won't be able to experience any of that stuff within a one-on-one interview. Obviously, in a one-on-one interview, it's going to be very short questioning. It's not going to last for more than 20 to 30 minutes, and it's kind of an in and out process. You get questions, that's about it. In terms of scenarios, in terms of thinking on your feet and building character, confidence and such, that's you're not most likely going to get that in a one-on-one interview. You're going to get it within an assessment day. Objectively, they're good to a degree. If you are not good at assessment days, I would say try and go for one-on-one interviews if that's where you shine. If you have a lot of confidence in character and you can bring that out in a one-on-one interview, you have more of a chance of getting it in a one-on-one interview than wasting your time at assessment days for about, as I said, minimum 2 hours to not get the job or to get sent home. If you're confident, oozing with confidence, assessment day, and oozing with confidence, and you're a loud person and you can talk and you talk quite loudly and you're confident with kind of not directing people but talking over people, being kind. It's funny that I say this. It's not anything negative. It's not anything negative by a long shot. It's just that if you're comfortable with doing stuff like that and getting out then assessment day is you. If you're not confident doing that, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person and you're not going to be equipped to do this job. It just means that you might need to find a different avenue of getting into the workplace, and that might be one-on-one interviews. But either way, if you have no experience with assessment days, go through, man. Definitely go through. Go through. Give it a try. It's worth an experience. All right. Every experience is an experience, and it will build you in some way, shape, or form. So overall, assessment days objectively, yeah, about 50-50. They've got their good points and their bad points. Don't get me started on recruitment firms and such, because that's a totally different. It's a totally different video, guys. So it's about 50-50. But in my opinion, I personally choose not to go to assessment days. Actually, do you know what? Let me be really specific about that. I choose not to go to assessment days if it's held by a recruitment company. Okay? That's where I choose. That's where I think it's a waste of time. Okay? I think it's a waste of time if it's a recruitment company. But anything else, I think go for it. If it's for the actual company, go for it. Just simply because obviously after that you're just going to be a final interview and then that's it. I'm gonna have to edit this video down. But yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.